All right, so let's start with the big story that we're tracking on WION this morning, where after more than 3 years of uncertainty, Brexit is finally done. And safe to say, it was a kind of an emotional good boy. Now, Britain became the first ever nation to leave the European Union after 47 years of membership. A Brexit countdown clock was also projected onto the 10 Downing Street, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson delivered a special address to his nation.
This is the moment when the dawn breaks and the curtain goes up on a new act in our great national drama. And yes, it's partly about using these new powers, this recaptured sovereignty, to deliver the changes people voted for, whether that is by controlling immigration or creating free ports or liberating our fishing industry or doing free trade deals or simply making our laws and rules for the benefit of the people of this country. And of course, I think that is the right and healthy and democratic thing to do, because for all its strengths and for all its admirable qualities, the EU has evolved over 50 years in a direction that no longer suits this country.
All right, so that is British Prime Minister Boris Johnson there stating that this was in effect regaining Britain's sovereignty. And many Brexiteers, chief amongst them Nigel Farage, also welcomed Brexit with champagne and fireworks.
We did it!
All right, so that was Nigel Farage there claiming that he has done it with the final countdown. Now, for some, it's been a pretty long wait, while for others, it's been something that they hoped that they would never see. Now, Brussels bid goodbye to Britain with a kind of a light show. The mayor of Brussels made some special arrangements celebrating the UK-EU relationship. The European Parliament saw an emotional session as the British members participated in their last vote. The lawmakers from across European Union's 27 remaining member states bid goodbye, farewell to their British colleagues. Right after the session, a number of members of European Parliament, former members of European Parliament and also campaigners joined a small ceremony held outside of the European Parliament. And almost about 3 million coins commemorating the United Kingdom's withdrawal from the European Union went into circulation. The coin features the words peace, prosperity and friendship with all nations. And the Brexit date, 31st of January 2020. Now, another such million coins will also enter circulation later this year. And for the last time, a small group of European Union supporters gathered outside of the British Parliament after the departure. Britain has now entered into what is known as the transition period, and that will go on until the end of this year. Now, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, has rejected the possibility of an extension of that transition period, stating that there will be ample time to secure what he claims will be comprehensive new trade deals between Britain and the European Union. And there is, of course, a lot of confusion in terms of what these new trade deals will look like. And also our London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark, who's been tracking this story very closely, has sent us this report.
Well, Boris Johnson has described it as a historic day, releasing a video statement an hour before Britain officially left the European Union. In his statement, he described it as a new dawn for Britain. But his tone was pretty conciliatory. He recognized that a lot of the population didn't want Brexit, and he called for unity in the country as they go ahead and strike out on this new independent path. Now, there has been both protests and celebrations across Britain over Brexit Day. Those who wanted to remain, which was nearly half the population, some have held essentially protests, anti-Brexit marches. They were essentially like a mourning. It was like a death. Of course, there were celebrations for those who voted leave. There was more than half the population, of course, that voted to leave the European Union. And for many of those people, it was a day to celebrate.